bafana nawe bebacha kimi bebacho abaseka bafana nawe kade sinhlome phasingeto Tatin ba utati isandla sami zokuvela kenonenko onenko besithi sami trapper sambe njengothika My love can never go to waste Noma ngazithola ngibambifika I can lose a lot of things in my life but if I have you then I'm a winner
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are officially back on the Ntosh and Ntuli YouTube channel. If you're a new subscriber, then thank you very much. And if you're an old subscriber, then thank you so much for coming back. You know, I got you like you got me each and every time. But yeah, we are back with another video, and this is a video that is very vulnerable to me because I just gave myself a good ass cry before I came on. And if I get because honestly they just make me feel very better. Yeah, you know when they say sometimes when you eat ice cream it will make you feel better. I put on these earrings and I immediately feel like I'm a new person and everything is fine. Like these earrings look like everything is absolutely fine. So in this video I am just gonna be touching on why I was unable to film or why I haven't put out any content in the past I don't know how long. So if you have not yet subscribed and you're watching, I mean come on now, what is this? But otherwise let's get straight into the video. As I said, I gave myself a very good cry. And before actually getting to a point where I sat down and filmed this video, I put on a wig, I put off a wig, I put on makeup, I put off makeup. As you can see, there's just like, you know, a little bit of eyeshadow left because girl just wanted some sparkles. But I put on, you know, makeup, I put it off. And then I tried new eyebrows and I was like, they're not gonna work. And my little sister went looking for razors because we were just about to, threading them? We're just about to thread them, but she couldn't find them. And then eventually I was like, oh, I also looked for a hat. And I put on a hat. And then I was like, no, actually, I'm just going to brush my hair and I'm going to come on here. So first change is I cut my hair. Then the second change that the video is about is the reason why I could not film or I could not take visuals even for Facebook is because I was pregnant, right? I am going to be putting up a picture that I feel very comfortable about putting up, but I'm going to put up a picture for those that need proof because I've had a couple of people that found out that I was pregnant on my WhatsApp and they were like, no, wait, okay, we get the fact that you're saying that you were pregnant, but is there any proof? Because also this is a lie. We probably would have seen, right? So I'm just going to be putting a picture up. It may be a picture, it may be a video, but yeah, I'll see how I feel when I start editing this. Anyway, so I was pregnant and then I felt like, you know what, I am going to put out content. I trust and believe I am going to be doing this whole journey, your pregnancy up until the last day. Trust, even when I get into hospital, I am definitely going to be the girl that is going to be vlogging. Go guy. First trimester came, all right? Morning sickness on a child. I was like, no, I'm gonna survive this. I'm gonna do a surprise video. Obviously, also when my bump is already showing in the second trimester. So this is not a big deal. It's fine. Let me just go through these first 3 months and then deal with the morning sickness and then be fine. But the morning sickness was deep. The morning sickness was immensely deep because I remember at some point I went to a previous workplace and one of the managers walked in. She's just greeting us, you know, like ninjani, you know, how's the day going, how's the workflow going? And then she looked at me, she's like, yo, my girl, I don't know what is what, but your eyes are telling me that you're very sick. So my love, you might have to go back home because me, I don't want to get arrested. You'll come back tomorrow and we'll try again. We will try again, but no, what is not going to happen is you're not going to be working looking like death. So in essence, that's what it was with the morning sickness. It just really got to a point where I was just genuinely, honestly sick, even at work. Sometimes I was waking up and I was like, it was on a Saturday. I'm like, there is no way I'm doing anything. So my partner would be, up and down doing most of the house chores. And then I'm just like, I'm still going to continue with my visuals. I am still going to be doing this. This is still going to be super amazing. This is going to be an amazing journey. And everyone is going to be joining in. But then now the bodily changes came. And I know for a lot of people it's like, but it's not your first rodeo, baby. It's not your first baby doll. What's so shocking? I think that pregnancies are very, very different, and it's one of the things that I allowed myself to accept with this pregnancy, to say Uguti, pregnancies are super, super different. Babies are super, super different. It's like a trial and error type of thing. You just learn along the way, because no babies are going to be the same. No pregnancy is going to be the same. And for those that have had the same pregnancies, lucky you. You're lucky you. Because now when I started experiencing the new bodily changes, it was very heavy. It was super, super heavy. As you can see, like right now, as I was saying, I put on a wig, I changed that, I did that. I was like, my hairline, everything doesn't make sense. I don't want this and everything like that. But this is one of the postpartum changes. When I was pregnant, my hair was just like, it was like super fine, because then I still had my long hair and I was still tying. So I was still able to tie my buns and, do whatever other hairstyle that I felt like doing during my pregnancy. So it was super fine. But now hairline is doing its own thing, and yeah. Anyway, the bodily changes came, and now I started feeling super uncomfortable with just taking pictures, taking videos. It was just not something that I desired for myself. It was something that I was like, I'm not going to be doing this. Then I forced myself. I remember on a particular day I did a random video, a live video on Facebook, and as soon as I was done, then I felt very, very insecure, and I was like, up until I work on this, up until I can get myself to a point where I fully accept that this is my new body, I am definitely not going to be taking any visual content. All right, so because also it is not my first pregnancy, with my first son, it was something like, I remember having a conversation with my grandma, and she was like, pregnancy is very sacred. A lot of people are not going to be happy, even if at that point in time I was a teenager. She's like, a lot of people are not going to be happy. So this is something that you would love to keep to yourself, keep it private, just be very to yourself about it, because it is a process that nobody can understand. And as much as scientists can try and explain it, it's just something that is just inexplainable, how just by having sexual intercourse, this is now something that is taking place in a woman's body for 9 months, and then voila, a full-blown human being comes out. So you just want it to be sacred. And by me saying so, I'm not saying that people that document their pregnancy journeys also on social media or on YouTube and do not understand how sacred pregnancy is. But now I had to now define what sacredness is or was to me, and where I was with my pregnancy and what I wanted to do. Because sometimes we get into this thing where, because everybody else is doing it now, we also want to do it, but we have not defined or we have not questioned why we are doing particular things, because it's so important. Is it something that is relative to me? Do I want to do this when I put myself out there, and when I become this vulnerable, when I get criticism, am I going to be able to take it in? Have I accepted my body so much so that when someone points out the fact that my nose is big, will it be something that I'm okay with, or am I gonna lash out at that person, right? So I just felt like I needed to define what sacredness was to me, and how I wanted to go about the pregnancy, and how with the many changes I was going to be able to deal with everything that was now coming, how I was going to prepare for this, and how I was going to ensure that I amp up, and like I amp up my game, I up my game when it comes to being a mother. So then sacredness, I was like, definitely not going to be able to put this out there, because this is very, very personal. And in as much as I have bits and pieces of my life on social media, I'd really love this to be towards myself, because also I've had an experience that was not very, very pleasing. So it was just a thing where I was like, no, to myself, and this is how I'm going to go about it. Anyway, and then there was also privacy. Privacy. I love calling it privacy, but there was also privacy. I really, really, really genuinely had lost the plot when it came to, the idea of privacy. I had really, really, like, I was an oversharer. I'm a recovering oversharer. So I still get into particular spaces and I overshare, right? And it's something that I am working on actively. But because I've overshared before, this just gave a lot of people the idea that they could have opinions, like shocking opinions about my life. And when they could see particular changes in my life, then they would be like, oh, was it not you a couple of months back that said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So because now I know that, like, deep down I'm still working on, that element of oversharing. I just felt like if I was just going to document this, then I was just gonna overshare. There were just days that were very, very, very heavy, and there were just days when I was like very overjoyed. So the line for me sometimes gets very blurred, and I get out of control. Especially about my business. So I was just like, because I've overshared before and this hurt me, now I need to nip it in the bud. I need to be the one that takes control of this and just relearns how to be private, relearns what privacy is, what I want privacy to be, what I want privacy to look like. So privacy for me looked like not filming. And that was that on that. Also, I was experiencing a lot of transitions, a career transition. My work contract unexpectedly ended. So then, like, a lot of us were just laid off. It was a thing, okay, it was a year contract, but then it was promising. We had conversations where it was said, no, guys, definitely do not be worried. This is going to be prolonged. It might end up with you guys being permanent. So we were just very comfortable. I knew I had now, written things down to say, this is what I'm going to be doing. But then the contract ended, and now there was a career transition. Now there was a lot of transition. For anyone that knows, finances have a way of just they have a way of just having your world of making it seem like your world is crumbling down. So it felt like that for a while, but I also had to focus on the pregnancy. So this was a lot. And with that career transition, a lot of changes also came. We understand that a lot of changes also came. So now we were working with one income, and a lot of things now. My partner and I had to sit down and talk about a lot of changes that I think, as the videos keep on coming up, I'll just be able to document. But with that being said, I felt like with these transitions, I had to be away. I had to be awake. I had to be fully present. So now being fully present and trying to create content, and now going through the most, but now also not going through the most, it was not really going to work. So I had to take 5 steps back and say, Ntokozo, ngeke baby girl, ngeke noma ungakhalela kangangani and noma ungabona ukuthi ungakhona ukuthi uyenze intwele, it's just not going to work. There are just so many things. Another thing that I just felt like I was really running away from, not really running away from, but that I felt like I didn't want to deal with, were the many questions. Because people can get very intrusive. People can get very, like immensely intrusive. So if I'm going to be putting it out there, if it's going to be on social media, so many people are just going to be very intrusive. Some people get into your DMs and they don't even bother to say hi. They don't say please. They don't say thank you after you've given information. And I understand that as people, we are very, very different. And other people just, it's not a big deal to them. But because it's a big deal to me, in me putting myself out there, my pregnancy out there, I realized that a lot of people are just going to come in the DMs and be like, so why would you? Oh, why did you? Oh, how are you? And I really wasn't ready for that. And that's perfectly okay. At the point that it was taking place, I was not okay, because I was like, why am I not able to deal with that? Why would I be unable to deal with that? Hi mara Ntokozo nawe kusuzbereke man. Are you not working on yourself enough? Are you not healing yourself enough? Hi bo, are you still getting triggered by 1 2 3 4 5? Yo. So it was a lot of condemnation for me that I truly believe no one should have to go through. So I was like, I don't want people, I don't want that intrusion. I don't want that level of intrusion, especially with something that is just so very personal to me, and something that I am not only going through by myself, but together with my partner and my family. So now a lot of people are just gonna feel like, you know what, we are entitled to 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, no, for me it was just not gonna work. Also, the other element to it was my mental health. The other element to me was my mental health. I experienced and still continue to experience a lot of anxiety. A lot of anxiety, especially when I need to go for, clinic visits and all of that. So you can imagine me trying to create content when I'm going to a doctor's visit, but I am really very anxious about the baby's heartbeat. I'm really anxious about the baby's growth. I'm very anxious about the pregnancy as a whole. But now I have to keep it strong. I have to be like, yo guys, I'm very anxious, but like it's gonna be fine. No, on most days I wasn't fine. When I was going for the doctor's visits, I was just like on autopilot. So me taking my phone up and going, yeah, I wanted to do nah, it was not gonna work. And the other thing is I think Uguti, because I pride myself in being able to be vulnerable, me just shutting that door down was not going to work well for me. So no. So it was a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, because obviously the new changes, and then the worrying, the will I see my baby? Is she gonna make it? Is everything gonna be fine? What? In what? But now being able also to deal with the many questions. Now someone is like, hey, ini sizwe bati, hey, when I ini. No. So I had to put myself first. I had to put my mental health first. I really genuinely had to define so many things for me, and not to just vibe with the vibe, to be able to say, yeah, there is a trend, or yeah, a lot of content creators are putting 1 2 3 4 5 out, but is this what I want for myself? And with what comes with it, will I be able to handle it? And I figured at that point in time I wasn't going to be able to handle it. It's the same as me putting out my baby on Instagram and Facebook and so forth and so on. I am still not ready to do so, and I also am glad that I got to a point where I personally affirmed myself to say it's fine if you don't want to put it out there. And then also the people around me, my partner, my friends, my family, were just like, it is totally okay up until you're ready to do so. And if you're never ready, then it's also fine. It's not everything that should be out there. And for whatever that you feel like putting out there, that is perfectly okay. But yeah, it was quite an emotional experience. It was quite a nice experience. It was a very at some point it was a very anxious or an anxiety filled experience. I've had to pray through so many things. I've had to understand myself in different ways. I've had to start respecting certain things. I've had to just get to a point where I was like, yes, this is what's happening. This is how I want to go about it. And this is how I want to work through everything. And this is how I personally, as Ntokozo, would want this to go. And I am super, super glad that I let it go in that way. I'm super, super glad that I just got to a point where I was like, this is how I wanted to work. And whether on some days it feels like it, I need to show up. Like, I need to show up for the decision that I've made, for this boundary that I've created. I need to be able to say, okay, today I feel the urge of taking a video, and then be able to say, no, I'd rather just write this down, especially for Facebook, because I do a lot of live videos there, and most of them are very random. But I have just learned that once you've created the boundaries, especially personal boundaries, you first need to adhere to them in order for other people to see. Because A lot of people will say, and I think I've heard this saying, I've seen it a lot of times, Uguti, you teach people how to treat you. So in me creating boundaries to say this is not what I want to personally be out there, I first needed to say, okay, I'm going to treat it like this. But yeah, there were so many bodily changes. I needed to understand what sacredness was for me, to define it. I needed to relearn what privacy was for me, and I needed to rework that, and to work on myself, and to work on the things that I would have loved for people to know. For those people that actually bumped into me and saw that I was pregnant, it wasn't something if you bumped into me at the mall, I was running away. Yo, no, I don't want to be seen. No. If you said like, hey, Ntosh, I was like, hey, how are you? If you done saw it and you wanted it to be a conversation, probably we would have. But a lot of people just saw it. And I think because a lot of people know me from Facebook and Instagram and also YouTube, when they saw me, they were probably like, because she has not put this out there, generally might mean that she's not comfortable even having that conversation. So yeah, no, we're just gonna keep it moving. So a lot of people kept it moving, which I really just genuinely appreciated. I also appreciated an old friend or an old high school mate bumping into me at the mall, and I was carrying my baby, and she was just super happy, but she didn't get to a point where she was like, let us see, let me see, guess what, yeah, let me see, like all of that. No, it was just something that she was like very respectful about, and I genuinely appreciated it. But yeah, in essence, that was just it. But I'm back. I'm gonna be having quite also a lot of mommy videos, but in those mommy videos, I think then for those that realize it is just gonna be a lot about awakening, a lot about my self-awareness, especially because when I had my firstborn, I was a teenage mom, or I was a teenager, and then now I'm 28 years old, and there's this new baby girl. What's different now? So I'm going to be touching into all of those things. Hopefully it's going to be very informative. A lot of people are going to appreciate it. I just hope when I do the videos, I'm not going to be very rigid, and I'm just going to also be enjoying myself, and I'm going to be doing it at my pace. But yeah, Ntosh Ntuli is back again. If you have not liked, subscribed, shared, all of those things, come on, let's do this thing. Let's grow this family, so that more content gets to be put out there. But otherwise, I love you guys so much. God bless you, and I hope that we are all actively working on ourselves. Till the next video. Woza, we are guys, nendamo beseyitshentshile izinto ziningi. Ngibani bona iheadline le, hey, zima benathi.